Hello, warriors. We're here for another interview. This time we're with Leith of, let me get this right, Twin Heart Healing,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
That's right.
And most of you guys will probably know her as Songs with DM on Instagram. I know that's how
also
I
me.
knew her. We're going to do an interview with her and get to know her a little bit better. And I'm going to give it to you now.
Okay. You gave me all those questions to have to go through. I'm going to try and remember. We're talking about Ascension, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So what triggered my Ascension was actually my twin. I'd had a little bit of, sort of mild mindfulness and awareness growing up, but I was also very ensconced in the corporate world in my 20s. So all of that went out the window. It was just all about, the money, the corporate stuff.
Yeah.
And then I had a little bit of a change. I moved out of corporate and into teaching Pilates. So I was starting to kind of what I call soften, but, not hugely. And then I had my son, and I had a couple of years later 2 girls. And I was dropping my son off at Kinder one day and had my girls in the double pram, got stuck in the door. And there was this guy who helped me out, and it was like explosion, like being hit by a train. And we both got stuck in the door.
Oh,
and then the next day, the exact same thing happened again. And I thought, I can never see this person again. I had a massive panic. So I was filled with the whole runner thing. But it did trigger my Ascension, partly because I went straight on Google and spent weeks and weeks Googling how to clear energy between people, because I just wanted to get rid of them.
Wow. So that was like your first instinct, was to clear the energy. Did you know anything about energy clearing?
No, I knew nothing. I didn't even know why I was Googling it. I didn't understand anything except that every time I saw him, I felt like I was being hit by a train.
Wow.
And I thought, I was married. And so was he. So I was like, I can't do this. This is crazy. And I've always been very judgmental about people who cheated or had extramarital relationships. So that was my own karma as well, coming to bite me on the ass. So, yeah, I kept Googling how to get rid of the poor guy because he was lovely. And I came across, somehow in my Googling, I found a lady who did Reiki healing. And she looked like another lady I knew, and I thought it was her. So I was confused enough that I actually booked in with her and then realised she wasn't who I thought she was.
Oh, no.
But she was perfect. So it was obviously one of those situations where, I just got duped by the universe into getting exactly what I needed.
That's true.
At the right time. So I booked in with this lady and basically went in going, this is going to clear everything out. And she gets me on the table and she says, so if you've got any questions that need answering during, your session, just feel free to put them out to the universe. I'm on the table and I go, I think I said, why is this guy here? What's he doing? And someone goes, he's showing you who you truly are. And I went, oh. And then I was like, well, let's get rid of it anyway. Because I couldn't cope. And, but he was in that session. He was in that Reiki session I had this vision of him. Wow. And it was just like a memory, but present at the same time. And every Reiki session I've had since, he's been in it. And I ended up from that one session actually doing Reiki 1, Reiki 2, Reiki Master over the next couple of years, which, of course, that much energy work changes you anyway. So he truly did. He just kicked me into gear in the best way possible. And we're not, we're in full separation, but I've been so lucky to have, it's such a gift to, meet someone and be given the chance to change your life in this incredible way. And I found myself in a life that I never imagined I would have. But there was a lot of fun. There was I attempted to cut cords, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I spent a good year going, well, this can't be right. And I would Google, I know one of the other ladies was talking about how, she Googled the symptoms, and I did the same thing. Like, when you feel energy with another person, very strong energy with another person, when time stops, when you look in their eyes, I was Googling all that stuff, which is not normal. No. And then, but it did come up, all the twin flame stuff came up and the soulmate stuff came up, and I would read the soulmate and I'd be like, okay, well, maybe he's got lessons to teach me, and then we'll, it'll go. And I'd read the twin flame stuff, and a lot of it back then was very negative. I don't think it's so bad now, but this was a few years ago, and it was very much, this is a hard journey. It's not going to lead anywhere. It's just going to kill you and break you down and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. There wasn't a lot of positive information. So I would read it and go, oh, that sounds horrible. I'm glad that's not me. And I kept doing that. And then eventually, and I would see Cassidy Cain's stuff come up in my Facebook feed randomly, and I'd go, oh, well, that looks ridiculous. There's that twin flame thing again. I fought like nobody's business. And then one night, just randomly, she came up in my Facebook feed, and I don't even know if I accidentally clicked on her or something, but I clicked on this blog she had written about signs of a twin flame, and she'd written it in a way that was more, because she's quite positive. She's manner. Like, yeah, exactly. And so I read it, and just everything just started to fall into place. And I went, oh. And then I read it. I remember I went to the library the next day, and I was supposed to be studying, but I went back on her site and started reading. And the minute I finished reading it, I was just sitting there going, oh, that's what this is. And I looked at the clock, and it was my first 11:11. And I was like, oh, okay, so this is what it is. And then, from there it's just, massive research. And but it pushed me as well. Like, I went through her stuff first, and then from there, and I was doing the Reiki as well on the side. So I was getting more and more meditation and going within and learning about the 5D and the spiritual world anyway. And so much of it resonated. Like, I just knew that was on the right path. And so even though I still had loads of doubts about the twin flame side of things, the changing and growing spiritually made total sense. Yeah. And it's been amazing. But it's a crazy journey.
That's the blessing in it, what you said earlier. It's like, we often don't realize what a blessing it is until we get, into it a certain way. And for some, it's kind of like a flip-flop. We start in, feeling like that, and then the more we go, just depending on your journey and the different things you've got to go through. But it also depends on, like you said, who you're finding the information from.
Exactly.
I completely understand that, because I went through the same thing, the negative. Yeah. And that's been one of the major things for me, was to get the positive out there. The rule thing is my big thing. Oh, yeah. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because other people need to hear that. Definitely.
They do. And it's so hard, because you can go on. There's so many people willing to tell you exactly what you need to know and exactly what you need to do and how you should behave. And if it doesn't resonate with you, don't. There's no reason to take it on board at all. It might be right for you not right now, or it might not be right for you right now, and it might never be right for you. Yeah. But there's a lot of people who are vehemently into telling you exactly what they think you should do. Mm-hmm. And the big part of this journey for me has been actually learning to go with my own intuition and to listen to my guides, because we're so programmed to doubt ourselves at every turn. And so it took me a long time to even just come to that point of having faith in myself and my own abilities. But once you're there, you never have to question again. Yeah. And there's a lot of contentment there and happiness there. So
that's the 444. The building your foundations. You're tearing down those old foundations and building them back up.
Yeah, exactly. And it hurts when you're tearing things down, and growth can be painful and transformation can be painful, but it's so worth it if you just hold on, and find that trust in yourself. And I think you and I were talking before about that, finding that compassion for your masculine as well, because, it's not their job to actually be in your life. Mm-hmm. It is, but they are, part of you. And if you're happy and your life's, if you bring yourself to the point where you've got a good life, I think soul mission is massively important too. If you're on your soul mission, then I think that calls them in anyway. But there's energetic connection, there's 5D connection, there's, meditating with your twin, all of that sort of stuff can happen even in separation. And it's just, you have to kind of honor the fact that they may not be where you are, and that's okay. Rather than, I get a few people who are very much, I want my twin to do this, or can we get him to do this? And I'm like, no, because it's not our place. They have to do their thing. And, when you're going, I want them to do this, or I want them to do that, that's, your own control issues coming through, your own insecurities, and, stuff that you maybe don't really like about yourself that you need to work on. So it's, again, that aspect of always coming back to who you are to help the both of you.
True. Yeah, that also brings in the unconditional love aspect too.
Yeah, and that's huge. That's so huge. Yeah. I do, when I do healings and stuff, because I see the chakras as I work, and I've been reading a lot by this lady, Alexis Cartwright, who's an Australian author, and she sees the heart chakra as having 3 chambers. So it's like a circle with 3 lines, kind of like a bullseye. And so you've got the green on the outside, which is the conditional day-to-day life. Mm-hmm. And you've got the pink in the middle, which is your unconditional love. And then in the center part of the bullseye is the white, which is divine love. So what I try to do in healings is to boost, all chambers of the heart chakra. But, that pink chamber, so we've all got the green because that's what we're used to. But if you can really work on the pink and the white as well and bring that heart chakra into full balance.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And just
what was her name again?
Oh, I've got a book. Hang on. Alexis Cartwright.
She's got a book right there.
This book is the best book ever. It'll take you ages to read because you have to integrate it. But it's awesome. And she goes into the Chiron points as well. I don't know if you've worked with those.
I'm not sure if I've.
No, they're not that well known. So they're but she gives a good, like, she'll help you find out what your Chiron is. So it's an astrological thing.
Oh, Chiron. Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. Yes.
So yeah.
No, that's awesome because Chiron is actually the first thing that was one of the first things majorly that was brought to me because they wanted me to have an idea of what was his forehand, what was going on with him. Yeah, because that helps us to know where they're at, where they need to be at within their healing, and same with us.
That's right. Yeah. And that's true. And that's your, as you know, your deepest wounding. And it's cool because there's that sense of you can't get rid of it. You have to master it.
Yep.
And that's, we spend a lot of time, especially at the start, going, I've got to get rid of this. And, I do clear out blocks and stuff like this, but you do actually have to learn to live with some stuff as well.
Mine is Taurus, which comes to stability.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, when I do my story, y'all will understand why that's, we'll get it then.
Yeah. I'm Aries, so it's just total self-doubt from start to finish. And the planet
self-image, self-doubt.
But, it's once you know and you can see it, you can go, no, that's just my Chiron. And you go, I'm not going to work with that today. I'm going to flip it and change my perspective. And then you've got that sense of mastery, which is, just another step on that ascension ladder. It's amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the healing, what has been I don't want to say hardest because it's all a matter of mindset and perspective. But what has been the one thing that you've had to continuously go over and kind of peel away like an onion in regards to, like karmic cycles, lessons,
There's probably 2 things. And they're linked because they're always linked. The self-doubt, self-worth is massive. And I've, even when I get to the point that I think I'm going really well, another layer is just going to explode. But I find now the more that I do, the less it bothers me. And if I'm triggered, I can get through the triggers faster and easier. So there is that shifting happening as well. But it is, I think for most of us, that's a really hard thing. And a lot of twins tend to be sort of, I don't know if you can hear my kids yelling, but a lot of twins seem to be low in self-worth, and they seem to be people pleasers. So they will give away their power to others to keep the peace,
Definitely.
or because they don't think that they're worth it. And I see that all the time. So I think it's an across the board thing that as a collective, maybe we need to work on. And then the other thing, like when you said karmic cycles, the actual karmic cycle for me has been a huge lesson because I was married. And the meeting of the twin and the ascension made me really face the fact that I was not in a great marriage, and that I was allowing things in my marriage that, if a friend had come to me and said, this is what my marriage looks like, I would have said, get out. But I didn't do it for myself. So going through that, and then obviously then when I got to the point I asked for a divorce, then that was 2 years of difficulty and strain and back and forth between me and my karmic partner. And I've only just sort of come to the point in the last few months where we've reached a stage where all of that energy and anger and antagonism of each other has dissipated. And I realized that what it is we've cleared that karma.
Okay.
And so once, while you're in there, it feels like I just thought, God, I'm never going to be able to deal with this person. But actually, it's just that karma has to be cleared. It has to be balanced. And it is not nice while you're going through it. But until it's done, you can't really move ahead. So I feel much freer and much easier, and we get along fine. There's none of the issues we used to have at all. And there's a level of getting along together that has to be because we share children. Yeah. But it just sort of came to me the other day that karma must have just gone. And I hadn't even really realized it. But it took a lot of work, and a lot of work on myself, and a lot of work, with how we interacted and stuff like that. And I guess time works on karma as well. Yeah. But, you can't underestimate the fact that these partners are there to teach you a lesson, and then once the lesson's taught, it gets easier. And I needed to learn how to set my boundaries. I needed to learn how to be clear in what I was saying, and I needed to learn to value myself and stand up for me in a way that wasn't defensive or antagonistic, but just calm and clear. And, we finally got to that place. So, and that, as I said before, it's linked with the self-worth. So he was probably my biggest lesson in valuing myself. And that's, that's invaluable too.
I think that that's going to be helpful for a lot who came into, who were kicked into Ascension by their twin, who were actually married, at the time. Yeah. And having that mindset to begin with, starting out, same as you, not having that belief in, going outside of your marriage. Oh, yeah. And not to say you did or anything, you know what I'm saying?
No, but it's huge because
it's still mental.
Yeah, you want to do the right thing. And if you're a nice person, you're like, I've got to do the right thing, and I've got to, but it's like beating your head against a brick wall with a twin. Yeah. So
yeah. I think what a lot of people run up against is not even just the physical aspect of it, but the mental and emotional. It's still considered in a broad spectrum as cheating and everything. Yeah. And so many have to and there's still, I have noticed that even within, the twin flame community, even though it is, a spiritual ascension, there is still an indoctrination still placed on it on some levels. Yeah, and I come across that, still quite a bit. So I think, your story is going to help others.
I hope so.
Number one, know that they're not alone.
No, and it's hard because people say to you, you do have to make that decision based on what your marriage is doing. And whether, but usually if you're meeting your twin, they're going to make you face what in your life is not working and what needs either repair or just to be let go to allow new stuff in. So there's quite a few people I've seen on various forums and stuff who are just a blanket, just stay with your partner. You're not meant to be with your twin. But if you're in a situation where you're not valuing yourself and you in a toxic situation, then no, you shouldn't be staying. And also, if you're with someone and you're actually thinking about somebody else, as twins most of the time, if that love in your heart is for somebody else, even if you don't expect anything from them, from my point of view, it was really dishonest to stay. So I prefer to be on my own and at least being honest about it than sort of building up more and more karma through lying about it.
True.
Yeah. But it's hard for those people who, I mean, there's always a little something, isn't there, that people have to push through. And I think sort of getting past that, the societal mores, the things that you're expected to do. I've had a lot of people pass judgment on me for what I did, but at the same time, I reminded myself that, and if it had been a few years earlier, I would have been one of those people.
True.
So it's not about they're horrible or anything like that. They're on their journey. They're where they're at, and they're working with what they have. So
yeah. I think this journey helps us. My way of thinking is that if you are still in any way, it doesn't matter what type of ascension you're having, whether it be tied to a twin flame, a soulmate, or just a generalized ascension. If you still have room in your heart for any type of judgment for anybody else, you're doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just.
No, it's true. It's true, because you're stuck. You're stuck at a level. And I've just forgotten the guy's name, but I know his last name is Hawkins. But he did that. The level of different emotions, the vibrations of different emotions, and is it David Hawkins maybe? But it's worth Googling, because he's got guilt and shame are the very lowest vibrational emotions. And then there are things in there like judgment and stuff, and you hit the ceiling and you can't get to those higher vibrations if you've got these lower ones coming up all the time. I mean, we all have bad days, but your prevailing self does need to let go of judgment, let go of they should be doing this. I should be doing this. Stop judging yourself as well, because that's a big
true. Definitely, I think that's a big one within the twin flame community.
Oh yeah, they stop beating yourself up. Well, you stop too then.
No joke. That was my first year, almost year and a half. It was. I was in no way, shape, or form. They just shut the light off on me. It'll be all right. I was in no way, shape, or form angry with my twin. I was angry at myself. But then, I mean, I was also the runner for over 25 years.
It's kind of just drop my camera.
See, you should have said anything about that thing happening like that.
We've been having so many technical difficulties.
Yeah, I ran for over 25 years. So, then when it happened and I got quote unquote bopped upside the head, then like it's that complete role reversal. Yeah. But anyways.
And you do. No, it's okay. It's good to listen. But no, you do. You have that judgment. I haven't been able to even speak to mine. I get so overwhelmed by them half the time, and it's mutual. But it is. Then you walk away and you go, God damn it! Why couldn't I even speak to a grown woman?
Kathy B and I were saying something about that this morning. We were talking about hers and hers. Yeah. And I told her, I said, you're going to know when that moment for you to say something comes up. They're not going to let you get away from that moment without having the full knowledge that, okay, it's time. And you may not be able to right then, but you'll know after that, okay, it's time, and start working yourself towards it. So.
And you know what? It's also, people underestimate that the lifetimes of throat chakra damage and things like that, the lifetimes of being persecuted for speaking to each other, lifetimes of, you might have committed adultery with each other in the past, probably have. I know that's come up in my healings for myself, and loads of actual physical damage to the throat chakras between us as well. And, that needs to be cleared out too. But yeah, you're right. When the time is right, and I know we all hate to hear everything in divine timing, or I do, but it's so true.
Temperance and divine timing.
Oh, yes.
Too.
The Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, gosh, yes.
That's hard.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but it's true. And
the word patience.
But see, I used to be really impatient, and now most of the time, not all the time, most of the time I'm pretty good.
I think those are the main ones that come up, you know. Speaking of things coming up, just so you new people know, you know, those are some of the main things you're going to hear for probably the first 6 months. But as a segue, as a leader in the spiritual community, what advice would you give to those who are newly who newly got bopped upside the head? Let's put it that way.
I'm going to give them advice, and I know that they probably won't take it for about another year.
True.
So that's okay, because I got given all that same advice, and I was the same. I thought I understood surrender so many times, and then something would happen, and I go, I didn't have a clue what that was about. So I'm going to say, focus on you. Let your twin do what they need to do. If they have blocked you, if they're not in the mood to talk to you, leave them alone, because a lot of you know, people in the new phases of the journey I'm seeing, and that they just constantly, you know, what's my twin doing? What does this Facebook post mean? Can we get them to do this? And, you know, I understand the need is there, the feelings are big, but all you're doing is putting that energy into the connection, and they feel it, and it does push them away. So they're obviously going through whatever turmoil they're going through as well, because you can't meet and not experience massive upheaval, but they need to do it on their own. And also, I know we all like to think that we've, you know, aced the journey already. You know, I, as probably within the first few months, I thought I was at a really great level of ascension. And then similar with the surrender, I would get hit with something that would make me go, oh no, I'm not even close. And now I know it never stops. So you can always do more work on you. And I think also a lot of people underestimate the importance of meditation. I know it's hard. A lot of twins have got very busy minds. So guided meditation to start with. Insight Timer's got loads of free ones, or, you know, Cassidy Kane's little basic free kit to start with. Just get yourself into it, because as you go along, like what I found was I would sit down, and I still do it now, I sit down to meditate, and 9 times out of 10, my twin turns up energetically. And if he needs clearing, I clear him. If he just wants to sit and, you know, hold hands or whatever, that's fine. We do that. But it builds your connection then in the 5D as well. And it builds that energetic, and the telepathy comes through stronger. So, and then to sort of add to that, I really do believe, and I know not everyone does believe this, but I think it's super important to be on your own mission. So you've got to find what your unique gifts are and start working on that, because yes, I don't agree with the people who say, you know, you're not supposed to be with your twin, blah, blah, blah. You know, you've got feelings for these people. Of course you want to be with them. And I don't think people should be ashamed about having those feelings. But there is a spiritual aspect to this as well. And you've probably got gifts that you could explore, whether that's, you know, I found my own healing gifts have sort of opened up in a different way that I didn't expect. Other people have got, you know, counselling abilities. Other people have got, you know, can give advice, or they just, you know, there's different things that everyone can do, but you need to find what that is and start actively working in it, which will, you know, it's fulfilling as well, because it does help you then with that sense of, you know, you're not sitting around thinking. Yeah, exactly. You're not sitting around going, what's my twin doing? Because you're busy doing stuff that is fulfilling you from the inside out. And, you know, that's where it all is. You know what you need to do in here. And you just have to sort of build yourself up. You know, I kind of think of it as making yourself a Renaissance person. You're building yourself up into this person who covers a whole lot of different areas, you know, and being the best person you can be.
Yes. I found that many, like Kathy, I'll bring up my soul sister. She doesn't stop. She gets certifications and you know, just adding on. She's got, just like she said, between the two of us, she's got more than me. We could you know, wallpaper a bedroom, you know. And the thing is that you may not use it all at once, but you know what? There's a reason why you feel drawn to it. So you know what? If it's taking a 30-day class and it gives you your certificate in it, take that class. There's a reason why you're drawn to it.
Exactly. And you've probably done it before, there's things that then, you look at past lives and stuff and you realize this is what I've been doing before. And you may find also that you've got fears around certain things because you've had, past life persecution or things haven't gone so well. But you've got to kind of listen to what your soul is telling you to follow.
Definitely.
And to listen to your soul, you need to get to that point where you're able to get stillness and connect as well. So that's where that meditation comes into.
I know. I couldn't figure out why I was being led. I ended up with associates and Bachelor of Science in criminology, and haven't used either one of them.
But that's awesome. That would be so cool.
Haven't used either one of them. I've always taught, so.
Look, you never know. There's so much to learn in this universe. It's massive.
Yeah.
I love picking up new things. I've stopped paying for courses by and large, not completely. But I still, if I find a book I want to read or, I just watch things on YouTube and Gaia and stuff like that. But I did go a little bit far with the courses, so I had to stop.
Yeah, middle of the night the other night. Oh, actually, the eclipse. I couldn't sleep, so here I am. I'm on Corsica, I think it is, Udemy, and all this, and I'm finding me some free ones. I'm like, I'm not buying no more. I'm not. No, I'm gonna do free ones, And I ended up with 4 different. So no, I get that.
Yeah,
but I want to add something back to the meditation. Like for people like me, who no matter what happens every time, no matter what type of meditation you try to do, you end up passing out. Believe me, you do get something out of it, even if you're listening to a guided meditation. But if you want to feel like you're really getting something, because like with me, I'm like, I'm not getting nothing out of it, even though I knew subconsciously I was. I wanted to feel that, there are so many different ways that you can meditate with movement.
Yes.
Gardening, dancing. There's the list. You just look it up. Movement meditation. So I was hearing when you said that I fell asleep.
Yeah.
I can't concentrate on it.
That's true. And
I was hearing and I'm going, no, I'm not giving y'all no excuses. Mm-mm.
And because my gateway as well, you can kind of see the edge of my reformer there. So I'm a Pilates teacher. So that was the first time. Well, I'd done a bit of yoga and I still love yoga, but I used to get on the reformer and I'd realize the hour would go past and I hadn't thought of anything else. And I'd be completely involved in what was in here because it's torture for an hour. But it gave me that sense of stillness and silence and going within. And then I was able to move forward. But I did used to also fall asleep a lot in meditation. So now I make sure I sit up to start it.
Even me sitting up, no joke. Gosh. No joke. My sister would come outside on the front porch and be like, "You might want to shut your mouth there." And then and she would bust out laughing. She's like, "You're sleeping on the porch." You go, "No, I was trying to do a meditation." Well, you were sleeping.
No, you're just astral traveling or something. Yeah, look, if it's too hard, then at least do something like that, like painting, gardening, running. Sometimes I've found running has actually been really helpful because sometimes you need a more physical aspect to it as well. Just
as weird as it is, and some of y'all are probably going to astral kick my booty for this. Do the dishes. No joke.
Yeah.
The running water will help because it adds into our senses anything, fire, water, earth, anything like that you're using with your senses and the 4 corners is going to help with the meditation. And then also you're moving.
Yeah.
And you're cleaning your house,
Nobody comes near you while you're doing it. So.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Because they don't want you to see them putting that little cup in the sink whenever you've already got,
No.
So they're real popular.
So it's whatever works, but just get that. It's just practicing that connection to source, and then it'll start to open up anyway. It gets easier. But I reckon that's a key thing. Is finding that link to the divine and then finding the divine in you.
Yeah, true.
And believing it's there, because that goes back to the value in yourself again as well. We often don't believe that we've got this spark of divine in us and that we're divine beings. As we're taught from day one that, we're not. I grew up in a Catholic family, and so that's, the priests were high up, but we were not. And so it's taken a lot of deprogramming to work out that, actually it's all inside of us.
There's them foundations again.
Broken down.
You've been knocking down some strong ones. Since you and I've been talking, I'm like, this woman's been knocking down some strong foundations.
Yeah, I'm a little bit extreme at times. I'm just like, people, if something comes up or a trigger comes up, I'm like, just get it out, purge it out. We're done, move on. So I'm a 5 life path, so I like the change.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. We're at 35 minutes. Okay.
Sorry. Yammering away.
All right. I want you to promote yourself. So whatever you've got going on.
Okay. I've got Songs with DM, which is just for fun. But if anyone has any songs or any messages they want to send to their person, then, you can just message me and I'll post it for you. If you want to make an artwork or something, I'm happy to put up. I'm usually make artworks of the songs, but it doesn't have to be mine. I don't care. If you've got something you want to send that resonates, just send it through. It's just a way to send a loving message to your counterpart. And I know sometimes you get overwhelmed with specifically songs for me, but other people might get images or poetry, anything like that. Just send it through. And then my main business is Twin Heart Healing or Twin Heart Angel Healing. So I do normal straight angel healing for people who are on the journey or not on the journey. And then I do specific tailored twin flame healings as well. And we usually call in the higher self of your twin. I've never had one refuse to turn up so far. So they come in and then I'm able to work on you together as a pair energetically. Everything's done by distance, so you can stay at home, just lie down. But it's good because we can clear away blocks and boost your chakra systems together and link your chakra systems, go through any past life stuff that might be ready to clear. There's no forcing or anything like that. I'm finding a lot of stuff. I know we were talking about how things are shifting and changing and moving faster. And I've found in the last couple of months, there's a lot of really deep cording and deep wounding coming up. So stuff that goes across multiple dimensions and things like that, we're able to lift up and clear them out now. So it's getting to be really good, deep healing and hopefully creating shifts in people's lives that are bringing them closer to where they can get to union or reunion or wherever they want to be.
All right. And I'm going to put, do you have a website or are you just, okay. All right. Yeah. Then make sure that I have your website and I'll put that in the description box. And I feel so bad because I said I was going to do that with April's, and we all know that we've been having technical difficulties. And I had put it in and then I ended up having to go back out and then I completely. So April, if you're watching, honey, I love you. And I promise that I'll fix it. Because I just remembered it.
I'll remind you when I send you my details.
Yeah, because I'm gonna get this one uploaded tomorrow. So yeah, that'll give me time to get everything from you and get it in there. Is there anything else that comes to mind that you want to put out there? Or?
Just relax on your journey, because you're not going to smash it out in a couple of months unless you're very lucky. So just, reach that level of, take it as a gift and an opportunity to become the best you and living your best life, rather than cursing it, don't cut cords. Actually, that's my other thing. Do not cut any cords, because it does real damage, and you can't completely cut them, but you can do massive damage. And I've seen that in a few clients recently, and it requires a big amount of repair, and it puts a lot of, I see it as dark cloudiness between the two energies. So please don't cut cords.
Not to mention it will make you physically ill.
Yes. Yeah. So just allow it and work on that unconditional love, because once you got that, you're fine. Everything flows. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you so much.
That wraps up our interview. I've loved it. It's been amazing.
We finally got there.
Oh, you guys just don't know. It's been fun. She didn't give up on me and I didn't give up on her. So we did good.
Once the interference was noted, I was like, no, we're doing this. We're still doing it.
All right, warriors. We will see y'all next time. Bye.
See you later.